Well, the main thing was just withholding work on a struck production. There were a number of companies that had signed what was called an interim agreement, and we were allowed to work on those titles. You know, they were kind of meeting the minimum requirements of what we were asking for, but not everybody was jumping on board with that. But it was amazing just how many did. I think at some point we got an email notice saying that like 80 titles that were actively being recorded had signed an interim agreement, or forgive me, I forget the other term. But that, yeah, simply not working on those titles was the first one. I was on just about every picket line. The main locations that we rallied were Disney Interactive, Warner Brothers, and Formosa Studios in Burbank. Formosa has several locations throughout Los Angeles, but the Burbank office was where I was on the line with Paul St. Peter, Fred Tatasciore, Barbara Goodson. I don't think Stephanie Shea made it out to that one. But there were also various meetings that we could either attend in person or via Zoom. And that way, you know, there was full disclosure every step of the way to union members as far as how the negotiations were proceeding. What were the stumbling blocks? Why was it taking so long? What were the counteroffers and so on? When the strike first happened, I remember seeing some actors on panels at Comic-Con saying like, hey, as fans and consumers, nobody buy any games during this strike. I'm like, nah, that's an interesting thought. It maybe would have been, things could have ended quicker if that pressure had been applied, but I don't know, man. Life's hard. I didn't like the idea of taking anything away from consumers. And we also tried to be as open about things as possible online in the social media interactions. But, you know, some people don't like to argue in good faith. There was a lot of, so what you're saying is, and then they would just kind of say whatever their own opinion was, unfortunately. But that was the main thing. I remember it was, Rick, I work on Rick and Morty now. That's owned by Warner Brothers. So I remember I felt like I was taking a huge risk being on the picket lines at Warner Brothers. I mean, imagine, like, I literally one morning just left the booth doing Mr. Poopy Butthole, and then there I am with a sign in my hand. I thought, like, one of the executives was gonna open his window, like, what the Jon, get in here! Biting the hand that feeds you. What's this F Warner Brothers stuff about? Oh, and I said, Jeff from Warner Brothers, is he here? That's what I was just there to find out how to get away from there.